Good Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. This is Eric, the Rural Xer here. I am in the Ball Ground area of the North Cherokee County area, and we're fixing to go on a little exploring adventure just across the road. In fact, I'm just outside of the Ball Ground, the new Ball Ground Elementary School that is up here. But just across the road, there is an old relic of a building, and I and probably a lot of other people have wondered what the purpose of this building was, what it was originally built for years ago. I haven't gotten too much information, but a friend of mine told me that there was a display and some information here at the public library in Ball Ground. So after I get through here, I'm going to actually go by there and check that out and see what I can find, and I'll let you know more about what I find if I do find anything. But until then, we're going to take a little adventure right across the road here. It's up in a field, so there's going to be a little bit of a hike to get over there to it. But I'm going to try to film this place. I was looking at the side of the road as I came by, and I didn't see any posted signs or private property signs. It's right out there in the open field. It's not fenced off or anything like that. So I'm going to take a little walk around there, and I want to get an up-close view of it. So come along and join me, if you will, on this mostly cloudy day today. Finally made over here to the field, and now I'm looking at the, as you can tell, I'm looking at the building right now. So I've got to cross that this field right here. So we're going to take a even closer view of it right there. Sorry about that. I had my autofocus spot in the wrong place. So now you can probably see it a whole lot better. Sorry about that. But we're going to walk on up there to it and take a look inside if we can. Well, here we are. Finally made it up to it, a lot closer. Still a little ways away. And yes, I'm a little bit out of breath walking up this hill. But this is very interesting. Something right here that I have never noticed looking at it from the road. But as you can see, it looks like there's a compass painted right on the front. Now, that may be graffiti. That may have been something someone else painted on there. It may not have been part of the original structure. Kids may have been up here painting, but still looks pretty interesting. Not really sure if that has anything to do with the what the building was used for years ago at one time, or if this is just graffiti that's on there. But found that interesting when I was approaching the building and all. But it is a shell of a building, as you can see there. All right, moved around here to the corner view of the building, and yeah, it looks pretty derelict. Looks like the outside walls on this side over here are bowing out. Looks like there's not very sound structure at all. Still very interesting, but I may get up closer and stick the camera inside and see what we can see from there. But yeah, it looks like it's not very good shape. And then, as you can see over here to the right side of the building, it backs right up to the railroad tracks that comes through here. Yeah, so at one time, trains come through here very close to the back side of this building right here. Yeah, I've gotten up closer, and this looks more like graffiti and not anything that was actually part of the original structure, because it looks like it was put on there with spray paint. I mean, it still looks pretty good for a compass, but could be a lot worse. But that's really about the only graffiti that I've seen so far on here. But looking over here to the left of the graffiti, you can see the inside of it right here. And you can imagine that during the summer months, let me back out here. During the summer months, all of this is probably taken over by kudzu during the summertime. All those vines that goes up and down the walls right there is kudzu, which Georgia and Southeast in general is pretty well known for. You'll see fields of kudzu that just takes over everything. Trees, telephone poles, power poles, grows over cars, everything. Buildings like this one here. But I mean, you can tell that the floor, if there ever was a floor in this place, it's all taken over by, it's filled in with dirt and grass, and it's just, there ain't nothing left of the floor at all. But we'll take a look on over on the other side and possibly the back. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, here's where a door looks like. Place for a door going in. I guess there was another door on the front side, but there's a door here on the corner, as you can see. And it looks like there was a lot of windows for natural light. Now, I don't know if this was a two-story building or if this was a single story with a very high roof. I really don't know. When I find some information and history about this place, probably know more. But we'll walk on up here to the back side and see what we can see over there. Now we're starting to go over this incline right here up to the railroad bed, and you can see a remnant of the old railroad tie, probably where the railroad came through here at one time, replaced this tie and just threw it out here to the side. They're known for doing that. Here's the back side of it, looking at it from the back corner. As you can see, I'm standing up here almost on the railroad tracks behind me, and I mean, it is extremely close. In fact, I'll back up over here and you can see how close this is actually to the railroad tracks. I'm guessing that at one time, whatever this was used for, it probably had access to the railroad, and they were actually able to load and unload cargo here, freight possibly. Again, I really don't know the history of this place, so I can't tell you exactly if that's true or not. Okay, here we are on the other opposite corner of the rear of the building, and as I was on my way over here, I was driving past this area down here in front, and there's a lot of development that's coming up. And this is the reason I want to get up here and film this and document it, take some pictures of it, so it would be saved for future generations. I'm afraid this building may be torn down, and along with the history, and people won't know what this building was used for. It's sat up here empty, vacant, just a very derelict building for a number of years. Probably people don't even notice it. A few people like me who drives by and wonder what it is, do ask and try to find out some history of it. But anyway, I also noticed over here to the left, looking at it from the rear, there's some more foundation, it looks like. If you can see down there just past the that fence that's right here. There's a fence right here between the railroad tracks and that building and this property here. And there's another one right on over there. So I don't know if this was part of the building or if this might have been another structure that was here sitting up here at one time. I really don't know. But there's two concrete pillars that runs out there. One right there, as you can see right there. And then one right over there, as you can see right in that area. Very interesting. I don't know what the backstory is of that, but I'll try to see if I can find out. Now here's another view of those same pillars, whatever you want to call it, foundations, I guess what you'd call them actually. foundations, the concrete foundations, a part of them anyway, over here, and one over, well, you can't hardly see it. It's buried under all of that brush right there, kudzu vines and stuff like that, right in that area. But it's over there. And the way this land lays out, it almost looks like there was a drive that came right up through here. I'll back up and give you a more open view of it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see, I'm looking back towards the building. I'm actually out here towards the right-hand corner of the front of the building, and I'm showing you this little level spot. Looks like a road. It might have been at one time. It goes right along through here, right past the corner of this building, and then right on up to the other, what might have been another building up here, or it might have been part of this same building. It might have been different walls that was built, but then attached possibly to this other building that was here. I really don't know. I bet there's a lot of history on this, and it would be very interesting to know. So if anybody knows any of this history on this building, this land right here, please leave it in the comments below. Here's one last view out towards the right-hand side of the building, if you're facing the front of it from the road, along with the those other blocks or pieces of foundation that are out here. But and I'll might take one more look from the inside, see if I can see anything else. Okay, I stepped inside the building through one of the windows that wasn't completely vine covered with kudzu vines and all. So I'm taking a look around here. I'm just going to swing the camera slowly around here where you can see this. Found some interesting features here on the floor, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. But here's the inside of it. There's some more graffiti on the inside here, but again, not too bad. Not too many places you can paint that's not already covered up with kudzu vines and all. But here are the features that I was talking about right here. These stobs that are sticking up, bolts. It looks like either they could have been for machines that might have been bolted down here at one time, or maybe a support column that stood up that was mounted right here at one time. Who knows? But it could have had some cranes in here and had some support I-beams attached to the floor or something. But there's 3 or 4 of them right here, at least 3 of them that I noticed for sure right here, as you can see. And I don't know if that other one is broke off, but it looks like it could have been 4 at one time. But I'll back up here and get a, and this is looking back towards the road here. See if I can adjust my lighting compensation a little bit where I'm not getting such a glare off of the sky now. There we go. That's a little better. There we go. But really, there's nothing inside here. I would hate to come up here during the summertime or springtime. This place might be full of snakes and all. Fortunately, I've got boots on right now, so I'm not too awful worried. And it is still winter, although it's been a really warm day today. It's been up the high 60s or even possibly the low 70s. Let's see, turn my, there we go. lighting compensation back down, blowing it out there. There was a lot of big open windows in here at one time. Again, I don't know if this might have been a two-story with a floor above. Of course, I'm standing on the lower floor, the first floor, and if there was, then it might have been a two-story building, or it might have been just big, large windows for natural lighting in here. Trying to adjust my lighting. There we go. Lighting compensation. There we go. All right. Well, we've seen about all we can see here. I'm going to get on back out of here and try to get some more footage today. Hello again, everyone. This concludes the exploration and documentation portion of my video. As you can tell, I'm neither in my car nor am I on site doing this outro. This is several days later after I just got through doing the editing of the video itself, or the video footage, and now I'm sitting in my office doing this outro, as you can tell by the different clothes that I am wearing. I've also got notes here in front of me that I'm going to be using throughout this outro, giving some history of this place, so just bear with me. I apologize, but a good portion of the time I'll be looking down and trying to get this right. So just bear with me. But as I promised, I do have a bit of information about the history of this place I found at the local library in Ball Ground. I have to be a bit cautious here because I posted some pictures on some local Facebook groups to promote the video and got quite a few comments with a lot of conflicting ideas on what people thought the place was, or in this case, what it started out to be. Now, before I go into what information I found about it, I will say, as you just saw throughout the video, I did call the structure the cannery. And from what I was told by local people that responded to my inquiry on my Facebook page, along with some photos I posted, the majority of them answered they had heard that it was a cannery at one time. Some of the other ideas of what it was over the years was a cotton mill, a rope mill, an oil refinery, a lamp oil warehouse, and even a silk mill where they were supposed to have silkworms brought in from China to produce the needed product. But none of these lined up with what I found through my own research. The only one that was somewhat close to what I found was the cotton mill. Now, the information I found, like I said before, was at the local Ball Ground library, and even there I didn't find too much except for a large poster that was produced by the Ball Ground Historical Society in one corner with some snippets of information and pictures of the structure, a stock certificate, and a list of the first investors in the corporation. And the only other source of information I was able to find in the limited amount of time I spent researching this place was a book titled A Patchwork Quilt by Larry Cavender. And even in the book there were only about 4 pages of information on the structure, which was fairly vague about what happened, other than to say that a company was formed, some stocks were sold, and a structure was started, but was never completed. Now, with that background information, I'll go into a little more detail about what I found, all of which can be verified by just going to the local library in Ball Ground. I'll also post pictures I took myself as well here of these findings. According to Larry Cavender's book, and I quote, "The structure, an enigma to most people, even those who have spent their lives in and around Ball Ground, is only the relic of a business deal gone bad. It was intended to be the Ball Ground canning plant, yet it was never completed. What remains is what was originally constructed and never finished, and what remains stood for over 100 years. It goes on, and again I quote, "Shrouded in mystery for years, its origins still remain obscure. Today, little is known about the canning plant, but its beginnings can be traced to 1907. Stock certificates dated from that year, signed by L.A. McClure, Secretary, and J.B. Roberts, President, are still in existence. The stock sales were apparently an effort to raise $6,000 in investments for the enterprise. There are photographs dated 1912 that show the structure in the background, and it appears today pretty much as it appeared then." End quote. The book goes on to give the names of some of the local prominent investors as well as some of the other out-of-area investors, but does not say what happened to the venture or why the structure was started but never completed. One can only speculate that they might have gone bankrupt or something even more nefarious. Who knows? Another bit of information that eludes me was the venture to be a commercial canning manufacturer that would produce and sell its products to local grocery and retail stores in and around the area, or would it be built for the benefit of area farmers and growers to bring their produce in to can and store themselves, similar to the canneries in Jasper and Blue Ridge? Another question that I really don't have an answer for. As you can tell, this was not a deep dive into the history of this place, but was mainly to document the structure as it stands today before the elements of time and more likely the hand of man sees this place bulldozed to the ground to make room for the ever-approaching development of the ball ground area. With all this being said, there was another popular speculation that was being tossed about as to what this place started as. As the information goes, it started life as a cotton mill, but with basically the same fate as the cannery. And to be quite honest, there was a group poster on Facebook that came back with some very compelling evidence to this claim. Now, I'm not disputing him, but neither am I validating the information that was given by him either. The information he gave and the information I found seemed to happen around the same time in the early 1900s. I really have no reason to doubt the group poster, but neither do I have reason to doubt Larry Cavender and the information given in his book. And honestly, I don't have the time nor the inclination to continue to investigate this history as much as I would love to, but would hope that someone else would possibly pick up the ball and run with it and finally get to the bottom of the story of this structure. If it started life as a cannery or a cotton mill, or if it might have been two completely different locations, but very near to one another with basically the same fates, but with one being lost to the elements of time and or man. Again, who knows? I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Rural Xer and my exploration of this old relic of a structure near downtown Ball Ground. If you did, please give it a like on YouTube. And if you really like this and would love to see more similar content, please consider subscribing. And to be notified when I upload more videos, hit that notification bell at the top. To keep up with my adventures, check out my social media pages on Facebook and Instagram. I'll leave links to both of those in the description below. Also, if you'd like to be a supporter of my work, please consider giving a few bucks a month on my Patreon page. I'll also leave a link to that page below as well. As always, thanks so much for watching. God bless, and we'll see you in my next video.